Hey, today we're going to walk through the 6 most common business strategy mistakes that smart and motivated business owners just keep making and slowing down growth. And we just really need to talk about it. Now, my goal with this video is you'll be able to take at least one action that will move your business strategy faster, basically help you to build a better boat or build a better machine that spits out more profit, which is ultimately the goal. Now, don't worry, I am not going to tell you what to do or to do all of the things that I do or what the right business strategy is. Instead, I'm going to share with you how to think about your business strategy so that you can make the best decisions for your business that are aligned with your joy and your strengths. So I'm going to cover how to stop feeling spread so thin, like you will never get it all done, and where feel like you're making progress, but it's just never enough. I am going to walk you through the actual ABC sales journey, which is a very practical tool. It's going to make things very, very helpful for you. And then stay to the end because I'm going to teach you the real secret to creating content that converts and programs that sell. And as you are watching, if you notice something helpful, drop a comment. That's going to help me to create more content that you like. So make sure you let me know. And if you really like this video, we can dive deeper. Every single person who joins our What to Say coaching program gets a one-on-one to go through their business strategy to make sure it's set up for growth. And also another one-on-one to make weekly action plans that just make that growth even better based on your customized business plan. That way they can see real progress right away. And so if you'd like to learn more, comment coaching below. So let's go ahead and get into the real talk. So over the past 3 months, I have met one-on-one with 54 clients about their business strategy. And every single one of these people are smart and motivated. And every single time we went through their business strategy, we were like, oh, that's the thing that needs to be fine-tuned. And as soon as we fine-tune these things, boom, they're off and running. They're getting new contacts. They're adding people to their Facebook group. They're setting up workshops. It's really, really cool. And so I want to share these with you because I'm sure that even if at least one of these is useful, it's going to make a really, really big difference in your business. Now, the core of each of these mistakes isn't that people are not smart. In fact, they are, or they're not motivated. They are. What happens is when we actually feel capable, we start to do too much and take some basic organization things for granted. I was recently reflecting on Monday. I had a fever at night, so I had to go into what I call energy conservation mode, which happens like when I get sick, or in the past, or first few years in business, I had a kind of a lot of health issues. And so we kind of know what energy conservation mode looks like. And what I always look back on is energy conservation mode is actually when we make the most progress in our business. And it's because when I have limited energy, I take a step back real quick and I'm like, okay, what are the most important things that I need to get done? And anything that is just like extra, I won't do. Today, actually, I was ahead of schedule. I typically stop work between 5 and 5:30. I was ahead of schedule. And instead of just recording this freaking video and ending work early, I started just adding to my to-do list. And that's what I do when I'm not in energy conservation mode. And that is not a good place to be. Every single one of these mistakes that I'm about to share with you, I have made in the past 9 years and on our journey to sell $5.5 million online. Some of these lessons I learned very early from my coach. She taught me and I used them, and I did not have really big problems because of these. Some of them I had to really, really learn the hard way, either by getting sick or losing a bunch of money, and all sorts of bad, stressful things. And so I learned them. You don't have to. So let's go through them. The number one, not the number one, although I guess maybe the first one. Number one, too many strategies, spread too thin. Adding strategies is more like multiplication than addition. So this morning I met with someone who was on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and was also asking for referrals. That's 5 strategies. And I think what we think of is that adding strategies is like adding. So this is all in the like how we get new leads. But this business owner is not alone. We have, you know, have had multiple ways in the past. Many business owners come to us with multiple ways because they're like more, better. And yes, sort of. So when you add different strategies, like different platforms, it's more like multiplication. So we think it's going to be 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. Like if this strategy is only 1/5 operational, a good thing to do will be to add a second strategy that's 1/5 operational. That will give me 2/5, and then a third one that's 1/5, and then a fourth one that's 1/5, and then a fifth one that's 1/5. And then I'll have a whole strategy. My business will be in good shape. However, it's more like multiplication. So we take the 1/5 times 1/5 times 1/5 times 1/5 times 1/5. We get 1/25th of a strategy. And so that's why we end up making less progress than others who are just doing the one or two things, because it's not going worse and worse and worse. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have multiple platforms. I'm just saying let's get one of them all the way to the top, and then we can add another one when we have more focus and we have more confidence. I don't know. The core of this, I think there's a few places this comes from. Some of it is in the like, oh, I could do that. Like, actually, it's hyper motivation and a lot of belief. Like, I believe there's every lead strategy. Like, I could figure that out. And so I want to, instead of sticking with the boring thing, I want to go for the new thing. Because going from like 50% proficiency the rest of the way is less boring than that initial like newness of a strategy. And we don't want to do that, right? Like I don't know if you're married, or I guess maybe this is an assumption that we might have a good marriage, but like if you wanted to have a good marriage, you just probably want to stay married to that person, figure out how to work it out, and it's going to get better over time through communication. If you want to have a good marriage, you don't marry probably 5 people. Like that doesn't make it better. And so too many strategies. So instead of having too many strategies, we want to start with a primary new lead, primary nurture, primary conversion. And then once those are functional, then add a secondary. I think what we most of the time find is that only the like conversion part actually needs more than one. Attract new leads you might want more than one, and that's helpful. But just less strategies, better. Because the to-do list never ends, right? When you have all those different things. The second one is trying to fix every area in the business all at once. This is one that made me very, very sick once. This is another spread too thin. So the quote, at one time I counted after I read this quote, I was working on 14 actual different projects all in the span of a 2-week period. So no wonder I was overstressed, under focused, and really not performing my best. And I read this quote says, if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. And so how can we have 14 priorities? How can we have 6 priorities? We can't. And so over the course of what my coach taught me to save me from myself was over the course of 90 days, I'm going to have 3 major priorities. And those are the things I was going to fix that were going to make the biggest difference in my business that next 90 days. And then every 2 weeks, I'd pick 3 projects that I could work on that were going to move those things forward. And then that way I wasn't overwhelmed. I was performing better. I could actually finish work at the end of the day and feel satisfied. And then that momentum would start to build. The third thing is lack of time blocking or a system that manages recurring tasks. I heard this quote relatively recently said, all the good things that happen are because of how you acted when things were bad or hard. And all the bad things that happen are because of how you acted when you're good. And so this morning I met with a client who's just like really taking a ton of action in her brand new startup business. It was super, super happy for her. And one of the things that really is helping her is because she's new. And so she's like, I'm doing the things, I'm focusing on my checklist every single day. And so what is going to happen? She's going to start getting busier. She's going to start getting appointments. She's going to start making sales. And then those little tasks that are what built that thing are likely, well, not anymore because I told her, I warned her, but those are likely things that we drop. And that's why businesses end up so many peaks and valleys, is because we don't do the basics once we start to get busy. And so this is why time blocking 20 minutes to, do outreach, and making that just as sacred as an appointment, and also a task management system that gives you a recurring task. So I have a task every Tuesday to record next week's video. And when I click on that task, when I complete it, it will the following week set me a new task that says do this. Now, an extra pro tip is I can put my outline, like my template for the video, inside that task. So every time it shows up with the outline or the template, and I can just pop it in, and then I can go even faster. And so that helps me to execute the basics even when I don't necessarily remember the basics. And the older we get, the less we're able to remember. So things that we remember to do when we first started our business, 9 years later, I would not remember to do just because I'm older. So time blocking and task management. Number 4 is mixing up parts of the client journey. So I'm actually going to pull this screen up here for you because this will make it a lot easier to understand. So just go ahead and comment below ABCD, or comment below, I see it, if you see the ABCD client journey. Okay, so this is the client journey, and ABCD. So A stands for attract. This is how we get new eyeballs. B is the bridge. This is how we nurture and invite people. C is convert. This is where we make offers. And D is what we actually offer. So the sales process is A, B, C. So what happens is sometimes we skip steps in the journey. Maybe because when we first start off, we are working with people we know, or just referrals. And so referrals, and sometimes people we know that already trust us, we can go straight to C. We don't even need the A because we already know them, and we don't even need the B. We can go straight to C. But as time goes on, right, we are meeting people we don't know. And so it takes some time for them to trust us and to believe that we are competent, capable, that we can relate and connect, right? And so the bridge is important. Like the Facebook group is a bridge. And so what happens is we skip steps, or we put too many steps in one. So skipping steps would be just not having a bridge at all, and just being like, hey, what's up? Want to have a conversation about this offer? And so it's actually skipping the bridge, and that is not working so well in 2025. The other thing that we might do is just put so many things in there. So people do this a lot with the bridge. They're like, okay, so I have a Facebook group, I have email, I have YouTube, and I have a podcast, and I have 3 of those 4 things. But I'm not really sure what my what my goal is. And so what happens is I send my clients through a loop. I'm like, on Facebook, I'm like, okay, and then download this and you can go to the email list. And on the email list, I'm like, and go watch this video on YouTube. And then the YouTube channel is like, and subscribe to my podcast. And they're just in this loop inside my bridge. It's like they're trying to walk into my castle where the offer is. And I'm just sending, instead of the bridge going straight through to the conversion event, I just have this turntable that as soon as I walk on it, it turns them around and it goes this way, and they just keep walking back and forth on the bridge. And that doesn't really get them closer to their transformation. And so having one key bridge, and maybe there's a few side bridges, that really helps a lot. And it helps us to make more progress faster. We know where to focus if it's a busy day. For us, we focus on our Facebook group, and we might spend a little bit less time on an email, but for other people, it might be the opposite. The fifth thing, not tracking numbers. It's really hard to recognize accomplishments or hold ourselves accountable as business owners if we don't track our numbers. But one of the biggest problems with this is we don't really know what numbers to track, or we know we're working hard and it's all going to work out. But in alignment with this ABC journey, we actually want to track the things that tell us that our A is working, that our B is working, and that our C is working. And so one example of this is a couple months ago, I did a direct offer challenge just for myself. We just started our coaching group and I wanted to see what would happen. And so I committed for that month every day to make a direct offer. Would you like to have an appointment? Would you like to meet to be an affiliate? Would you like to work together one-on-one? Would you like to join this group? Instead of, hey, let me know if you want to do something. So lame. And so I tracked it. Every day I made sure I did at least one. Sometimes I would do two. Sometimes I would do three, but at least one. So that means I did about 20 direct offer. Well, I guess we had a challenge. So maybe I did like more than that, right? Maybe an extra 75. But we sold more that month than in the previous 2 years. And it was specifically a result of me tracking my numbers. And now we have to take action. We have to look at them and, look at adjustments. But this is a business practice that builds a muscle. And without numbers, we could go weeks or months or years without making direct offers. But because I was tracking my numbers daily, if I think I missed a couple days here and there. And if I missed a day, I was like, oh, shoot, I missed a day. And then I would go back to it. But otherwise, I would have just gone forever and ever and ever without making offers. And that is really not helpful for my business or any of the areas of the client journey. The sixth one, and this is what I would say is my secret to creating content and programs that work. And that is always, as many times as possible, speak to someone in your ideal target market and just ask them, what do they want and what's hard for them? This video right here comes from speaking to people and saying, okay, when it comes to your business strategy, what's hard for you? And then they would tell us, and then we'd be like, okay, so here's the solution for that. And they're like, yay, that's so helpful. Thank you. Now I trust you. I see that you see me. And I believe that you can help me get to the other side of where I am. And so then we take our offers, whatever they are, whether they're products or services, and we line them up specifically with what it is that is hard for them. And we take whatever is hard for them and we make it easier for them. And when we take hard things and we make them easy, people like to buy those solutions. I want you to think about how many things that you buy or services that you buy because they take things that are hard for you and they make them easy. And if we as business owners are just constantly thinking about like our vantage point instead of what they want and what's hard for them, and then just making that easy, we really miss the boat and our workshops don't land. Our content doesn't actually create any movement. Our offers, people are like, yeah, I'm not really sure about that. And so we have to ask our target market what's hard for you. And the reason I put this on the list of mistakes that smart and motivated business owners make is because of ChatGPT. So I had a lovely meeting today with a very smart business owner. It was a VIP one-on-one session, it's a really long 3 hours of business strategy, like really digging in there. And I asked her what was hard for her target market. And everything she came up with was like so good, so authentic, so real in their language. And I know that if we would have gone through ChatGPT, it would have been vague, etc. And so what we did is we just said, okay, here's our initial list. Is there anything that we missed? And ChatGPT added a couple others. I think that there is a little bit too much outsourcing to ChatGPT. Yes, it can make stuff easier and faster and brainstorm. And I use it every day, probably 5 times a day. But I don't stop asking my target market what's hard for them. And so in any given day, I'll have anywhere from 3 to 6 appointments. And I'm going to be asking, what's hard for you today? What do you need help with? What's hard for you? What do you need help with? One version of, or both of those sometimes in the same call. And this is what helps us to really make content that is spot on. And it helps us to know what to produce and how to make our offers. Now, where you might get stuck on these, solutions for these mistakes is number one, lack of knowledge on how a client journey works, or that you need one. And now you know that you need one and you have a little bit of knowledge on that. But if you want more support with that, and you don't want to learn through the school of hard knocks, then of course, get a business coach. Second, just not having experience or even awareness around when you're doing this. Awareness is really important. Sometimes when you're just in the beginning stages, you don't even know what you don't know. So it's really hard to be aware. Again, a coach helps with this, but at least if you are, engaging in a little bit of professional development, that helps you to learn how to think. That's going to help you to be, to do better. And what also, speeds up experience is every single week writing down all your wins, what was hard for you, what went well, what didn't go well, and what adjustments you want to make. And that actually speeds up the lessons that your experience will teach you, whether it's like what you need to keep doing or what you need to stop doing. And the third place you might get stuck is just relying on your work ethic, remembering that, I know what's going on. I'll just go on a limb. I'll just say this is a little bit of watch out for arrogance. But what we really want for you is that your systems prop up your productivity so you don't have to work so hard to work so hard. That your work there's less friction, there's less bumps in your workday or in the block of work that you have, because your strategy is clean. You're not trying to fix everything all at once, because you are time blocking and you have your tasks and you have a clear client journey and you're tracking the numbers and you're asking people what's hard for you. These are actually productivity systems that help you be the best you can be, instead of feeling like you're swimming against the lazy river, which is sometimes how I feel when I am in the middle of making some of these mistakes. So I want you to take one of these principles that we talked about today and take one action in your business that makes sense. It's going to make your whole business easier for you. And if you like this video, we can dive deeper. So whenever someone joins a What to Say coaching program, we give at least 2 one-on-ones in the beginning to hammer out their client journey and business strategy, and also help them to make a weekly plan. And so if you're like, gosh, that would be really nice, that I wouldn't have to know everything off the top of my head or put all the pieces together by myself. If you want to save literally years of time by borrowing our experience and applying it to your business so that you can get to your goals faster and easier, you'll probably want to learn more about the coaching program. So to learn more, just type coaching below and we will make sure to reach out to you. I hope you have an amazing day and that you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon.